So I've got the Parblo Coast Pro 12. It's a brand I don't know much about, and I've been asked to review it, so here we go. It's got a price tag of £200. I think that's the same in dollars and the same in euros. So it's around about the same price as the XP Pen Artist 12. So I thought that'd be a good comparison. I rate that brand quite highly. So let's see if this measures up. Well, the short answer is no. The XP Pen is a much better drawing experience. So if you don't want to stick around to see the rest of the video, I'll see you next time. If you're still with me and want to know a little bit more about the tablet and why it's not as good as the XP Pen equivalent, then we'll take a closer look. So we'll start with the good points. We've got a 12-inch screen, so it's nice and portable. We've got the programmable buttons with the dial on the side. The dial's quite nice because it does make it easier to zoom in and out or change your brush sizes nice and quickly, but it's not a deal breaker for me. It's got an HD display, which is fine for this sort of size of screen. It's got 16,000 levels of pressure sensitivity, and it is quite a nice drawing experience in terms of the pressure sensitivity. Also, it's USB-C, so if you have a USB-C compatible laptop, you can plug it in with just one wire and power it through that wire, which makes it nice and portable, and I do like that. It's not got too much parallax, so the distance between your pen and the screen is quite minimal, so that side of it is quite nice. Also, I downloaded the drivers and they work first time, which is quite nice. It's a little bit of a rarity with some of the budget brands, although I am finding that is getting better, which is good. So why don't I think this is as good as the XP Pen equivalent? Well, it's all down to the calibration. It was just slightly off, and that makes your drawing experience quite difficult. It was particularly bad when it went to the edges of the screen, and I had this strange effect, particularly when I went to the top of the screen. My cursor would suddenly move and jump away from the end of the pen, which is quite problematic if you're trying to press any of the buttons on the menus. Like I say, the pressure sensitivity, the parallax, that's all quite comfortable, but the calibration just meant that the drawing experience just felt really off. And it wasn't always off in the same direction. So if I'm over here, it might be off that way. If I'm down here, it might be off this way. So it wasn't consistent, and it just made it really difficult and uncomfortable to draw with. What you find you have to do with that is you have to zoom in a lot. So that's fine if you don't mind zooming in and out all the time, and if you've got those sort of precise drawings where you can zoom in more, because the accuracy isn't so important as you zoom in. But then you need to be able to see the whole picture a lot of the time as you're drawing to see how things match up together, so it's not always as simple as that. So generally for the 2D experience, it was a big no for me. However, in a 3D modeling program, you don't actually have to be so precise. It does make a difference for all the menus, but most of the time you're using shortcut keys. And you don't have to be precise in the actual viewport when you're sculpting and things like that. For some reason, it is just that little bit easier when you are in a sculpting program. So because of those negatives, I wouldn't recommend it. I'd actually prefer to go for just an ordinary tablet that isn't a display tablet and just get used to not being able to look down at your pen and having to look up at the screen. And you'll get a better experience than one of these. So there we go. Thank you to Pablo for sending it to me, but I'm afraid you need to work on the calibration before I think it's worth recommending. So thanks for watching for anybody that stayed to the end of the video. If you've got any questions, then do comment below. Otherwise, I'll see you next time.